So this is going to be the most important example, as in if I go to a website, hdfcbank.com. So at times it happens if you are on any website and if you click on any button, it opens up on a new pop-up window, right? Now here on this page, if I click on no more, it navigates in the same window, right? There's no pop-up, no tab. But if I click here, it opens up in a new tab, right? And what I need to do on the third window, I just need to validate the title is correct or not. So if the title is correct, it means I'm on the third window, right? Jet, privilege, SDFC Bank, something like that. So let us try to handle this scenario. This is very, very important no matter whichever application you are dealing with. Most of the applications have tabs and pop-ups, and this is the same way we will be handling it, right? So just look at this example carefully because this is little bit complex to whatever that we have learned so far, right? So let's say if I create a new class first, test tabs and pop-ups. And I'll change the previous example to name iframes. So just copy this and paste it over here. And change the website URL to http sdfcbank.com. Now on this website, first I'll be clicking on the login button. So let's inspect the login element. ID is there. So straightforward ID, driver.find element by .id, this .click. So when we click on this login, just a moment. When I click on this, it opens up in a new pop-up window. So here I need to click on no more. So say inspect and copy XPath. Say driver.find element by .xpath, this .click. Right, so these operations are from the second window, right? And again on the second window, if I am on the tab window, I click on no more. So again it navigates on the same window. So I'll inspect this element, click here, copy XPath. On the same window, driver.find element by .xpath, this .click. And after clicking on this, after clicking on click here, it opens up in a new tab, right? So no matter it's a tab, it's a pop-up, it's a small window, a big window, if it is opening up separately, it's a separate window, right? So all the windows will be treated as a separate window. Now this is a third window, right? So on the third window, I want to get the title. So third window, as in how to get the title, driver.getTitle will get the title of the current page. And from this title, I'm gonna check, because the title, getTitle returns as string, right? GetTitle returns as string. So if I say string dot contains, it returns as a Boolean value, true or false. So if it contains a particular character sequence, as in if I talk about the title of this page is basically, you can get it from the HTML tag. So title tag is basically over here. If you're not able to see it over here, press escape, go to console and type $$ title. This is the CSS of title tag, right? So this is your title tag, and your title is jet privilege SDFC. I'll take it up till here, right? Because we are checking contains. If I check equals, then I need to give the exact. So contains will return me a Boolean value, true or false. If I print it, so if I print it, if I'm on the correct page, then it should return me true, otherwise it should return me false, right? So if I run this now, then it will only gonna work up till here, right? Because by default, my focus will be on the main window. That is the first window. It will automatically not gonna switch the focus to the second window. So let us see. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, so there's a spelling mistake over here. It is hdfcbank.com. Let's try it. Go to the website and it should click on login. See, clicked on login. And then it will not going to perform any action, right? Because we know that by default our focus is on the home page itself, on the main window. If you look over here, we must have got an error for this element not found. Let's see. See, no such element found. And this is the element, div1 div a. So div1 div a, right? This is because by default our focus is on the main window. Now what we need to do, like we did in the case of frame example, we have extracted some frame IDs, right? Same is the case with window handling, right? If you go to the WebDriver API for window, when we say switch to driver.switch2, we should be able to switch to alert, to a frame, and to a window. But on window, we need to provide a name or handle. So how are you going to get this name or handle? There is no window tag in HTML, right? So in order to switch to window, I mean, let's say we are on the first window over here. So in order to perform any action on the second window, I need to say driver.switch2.window and provide the window name or handle. Right, let's treat it as ID for some time. So I need to get the window ID. How to get it? Let's see, do we have any method in the WebDriver API for same? See, get window handles returns the set of window handles which can be used to iterate over all open windows of this WebDriver instance. This WebDriver instance means that this will only going to work for the windows that are opened in the current session. Not like if there are any other windows open, it will going to handle those as well. It will only going to handle the windows which are opened in a current session, right? So what I'll do, if I say driver.get window handles, it will return me handles for all current open windows in the current session, right? As in, it will get me IDs for all the currently open windows. So if I talk about this step, how many IDs will we gonna get? How many windows will we gonna get? Only one, right? Because we are right on the home page at the moment. So what I'll do, I'll store this into window ID is equal to this. So what will be the return type? Handles IDs will be in a form of a string. So it will be string of window IDs. But it is throwing error because, see, although we are getting one window over here, maybe I'll gonna use this thing over here as well, right? And then I'll get two windows. So see, this method is capable of returning one window or more than one window as well. So return type should not be a single string, it might be an array. But we know that in case of WebDriver, there is no concept of array. It is list, collections, right? So I'm gonna do it like list of a string type. So I'll store it in a list. Oh, it crashed. Give me a moment. Let me relaunch Eclipse. I hope whatever that we have written is not lost. Yeah, a little bit, but that's fine. So we have done it something like this. List of a string type window ID is equal to this and import it. Right. But again, it is not accepting the return type. Why? Because if I talk about a list is something like this. It has got indexes. See, watch it very carefully. This is very, very important. So list has got indexes. And the window IDs will be stored at each index. So first window ID at the 0th index, then second, and third, and then fourth, and so on. Means if I talk about, let's say I'm storing some name inside a list. So how will I store it? I'll add a name like Rahul over here. Then I'll store another name called as Raman over here. Then can I store Rahul again at the second index, that is the third position of this list? Can I store it in a list? Can I store duplicate values in a list? Yes, it is allowed. You can have duplicate values in different indexes of list. It is allowed. But what if I'm talking about window IDs? Right, let's say the first window ID is ABC1. The second window ID is XYZ1. Can the third window ID be again ABC1? Then if I say driver.switch2.window with the ID ABC1, which window will it gonna switch? Third or the first one? So here it will get confused. So whosoever developer has created this method getWindowHandle has defined the return type as a set instead of a list. Set is also a part of collection, but in case of set, only and only unique values will be returned. Set will never going to return you a duplicate value. Right, if you mouse over onto getWindowHandle, you'll see the return type is set of a string type. That is what a developer has defined. Now, how to get values from a set? So this is like a set. Set also have indexes. It's like a list only, right? But it will always contain unique values. So if you want to get the first value out of set, you need something called as iterator. First, you need to form up an iterator. Iterator, you will get it with the help of window IDs. This is set dot iterator. So this is your iterator. Now, if in case you want to get the first index value, you need to say this dot next. This will return you the very first value. As in, if you say this dot next, this will give you the very first value. Very first value is in a form of a string. If you mouse over onto this will return you a string. So you can store it like this: string first window. This is my first window. First window equal to this. Or instead of writing it completely, because next time when you want to find the second window ID, you again need to say window ID dot iterator dot next. Again, you need to create another iterator. So instead of doing it like this, what I'll do, I'll don't do next from here. We have created an iterator. I'll store this iterator into whatever it returns. It returns iterator of a string type. I'll say iterate equal to this. And then I can say iterate dot next. So this is the same thing. This will return you a string. This is your first window equal to this, right? So now what I'll do, if I want to show you how the window IDs looks like, I'll simply gonna say print the first window over here. Although you need not to print it, I'm just showing it to you. And I put a separator over here saying generating window IDs from first window, right? But we need not to do anything with the first window, right? We want to switch on to the second window. So same thing, we need to try it over here. As in same window handle, same iterator, I need to use it over here as well from the second window. But I'm getting some errors. This is because this thing is something like if I do int x equal to 100, next time I cannot do int x equal to 200. Why? Because this will throw me a duplicate local variable. So if I remove this way I can use it, right? So same way, if you're using the same variable, you can remove the data type. And then it will work. It will override that value. Right? So again, driver.getWindowHandles. This time it will gonna return you 2 window IDs. Right? 2 window handles, because there are 2 windows that are open. So with the help of iterator, if you say iterate.next, first it will return you the first window ID, then iterate.next will return you the second window ID. See, first window we have already stored it over here. That's the first window. So I'm not going to store it again. I'll simply print it and then say string second window equal to this, and we'll print the second window. But you need not to print second window. This is just I'm showing it to you. You simply need to, you got the second window ID, switch on to the second window by saying driver.switchTo.window, second window. Right. So once you are on the second window and you click on the last link and you go to the third window, before going to the third window, you need to switch on to the third window as well. So same step, you need to follow it again. So before switching on to third window, you need to say iterate.next will give you first window, iterate.next will again give you second window, and then iterate.next will gonna give you third window, and then store it inside third window equal to this, and then say driver.switchTo.window third window. And before that, if you want to print the third window as well, print third window. That's it. Run this much and see if it prints true at the end or not, if it reaches the third page or not. Let's run this and let's see. So go on to HDFC, clicked on login, see, clicked and gone to the third page. And on the third page, let's see if it is able to print true or not. Yes, it printed true. See, this is how window IDs, window handles it looks like. This is the first window, first and the second window, first, second, and the third window. Right? So one by one, you need to extract the window handle, and then one by one, you need to switch on to those windows. And now let's say if you want to close the windows, you'll simply say driver.close. Now, which window will it gonna close? First, second, or third? This will gonna close the window where your focus is on. Right now, our focus is on the third window. So it will gonna close the third window. How to close the second window? Again, you need to switch to the second window. So we have already stored these window IDs, right? Means if you are on a 10th window, from 10th window you want to close the 4th window, you can simply say driver.switchTo.window and then give that window ID and then say driver.close. Same way for the first window. If in case you want to close all windows in one go, then simply say driver.quit. It will close all open windows in the current session. Right? Close will just gonna close the one window where the focus is on. Whereas quit will kill the entire session, closing all open windows in the current session. Right, so this is what we did in handling tabs and pop-ups. Now, at times it may happen that like you can see we are again and again doing iterate.next, iterate.next. You can write up a loop as well. Loop as in while iterate dot has next, iterate dot next, because at times it may happen there are 10 windows open. So you want to iterate over the 10th window. So simply while loop will gonna help you in iterating in all 10 windows. Right, so this can also be done. Otherwise, if you want to store the windows one by one, you'll be following this approach only, right? Now, in the frame example, we have seen that we have switched on to the frame using default content. If I go back to iframe example, so we have used default content. Instead of this, I can use window ID as well. So for that, we just need the first window. Iterator, iterate.next, just the first window, just these 3 lines of code. So I can paste this over here. I got the first window. Instead of default content, I can also say SwitchTo.window, first window, that's it. And if I run this will also gonna work. Right, from the frame, it will switch back to the window where we are providing the ID of that window. If you look over here, same 5 frames are printed over here, right? So this way as well you can do. But when you're working with frames, the easiest way is driver.switchTo.default content, right? But whenever you're working with tabs, pop-ups, new windows, then this is the thing that you should be following. First, get the window handles, store it into a set, create an iterator, iterate.next, iterate.next, and iterate.next, and then switch on to the windows by giving those window IDs, right? So just try practicing around this. There's another assignment for you. What you need to do, there's a job portal called as naukri.com. So naukri.com. If you press enter, you're going to see right now it is opening up one pop-up window as soon as you navigate. At times you may see 2 or 3 pop-ups as well coming. So what all pop-ups that are coming, your task is to get the title and close it. That's it. This is what your assignment is, right, in this example. All right, thank you.